Yo, what is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I be, the good doc, Dr. Mike TV, back again, once again. Another hot day here in the great state of North Kakalaki, but things are about to get real in today's topic. So before we get started, guys, make sure you get the likes up, make sure you subscribe, make sure you familiarize yourself with anything and all things the good doc, Dr. Mike TV, listed in the link in the description area below. I might be a little haggard, but y'all gonna have to work with me today, okay? Gentlemen, I think you might want to be careful about what you allow your woman to watch on YouTube nowadays, okay? I think you might want to, because things might change. That's all I'm going to say, okay? And this could be for a multitude of different reasons. I'm going to try to tackle this subject from a multitude of different perspectives. But shout out to my boy San Juan. He introduced me to some Filipinas online that have been stretching or talking about, in a very brave way, the narrative between themselves and women from the West. In other words, they're giving themselves pats on the back for being what us foreign men are choosing nowadays. Now, I want you to understand why that's dangerous. The reason why it's dangerous is because I know you guys. I know foreigners like the back of my hand. A lot of foreigners choose to date women that are somewhat naive and somewhat do not know their worth, okay? So if you're choosing to date a woman that doesn't know their worth, I promise you this. They start watching these YouTube channels, they start getting familiar with other YouTubers, Filipinas, that are on YouTube, and they start stretching and talking about different narratives. What's gonna happen is your young lady's gonna start coming to you with questions. Why is it that she says this? Why is it that she says that? Why is it that Dr. Mike is saying things like this? Is it true that foreign guys are like this? Is it true that Filipino women are like this in the United States? Is it true that women in the United States are like this, and that's the reason why you don't date women in the United States or in the Western world? Is it true of this? And you start to get the questions, okay? And for some god-awful reason, I don't know if you noticed this. This is just me. I know I'm going to start to sweat in a minute because I had to turn my AC off and I got the window down. But you're going to start to notice something. You're going to start to notice what I like to refer to as the gradual shift, okay? The gradual shift is inevitable. And what I like to look at in relationships and dealing with Filipinas and things like that, naturally you expect your woman to change, hopefully for the best and not for the worst. But what's going to happen, and I see this often more than none, the naivety. I'm trying to get my words, but I don't know if that's the right way to say it. Somebody hit me with a pronunciation or whatever. Naivety. The naiveness of a Filipino will soon start to turn into education. I don't care if your girl ever went to college or not. I promise you this, Filipinas are very smart and they learn very fast. So if you have a Filipina that is online talking or stretching or participating or putting together a certain narrative, it is almost inevitable that she is going to potentially take on that narrative as well. Because a lot of Filipinas ask this certain question that I like to be asked. They always ask, why is it that you choose to be with Filipinas instead of your own woman? And I tell them the truth. It's not necessarily, this is my words verbatim, it's not necessarily that I don't choose to be with my women. It's just that for myself, in the environment in which I grew up in, I can honestly say that I find myself to be fond of dealing with Filipino women. I do. I grew up in the Philippines. You guys know that. 10 years in the game, I mean, it was only inevitable that I was going to find one or date one, okay? Had I grew up in the United States, it would have been a woman here in the West. It is what it is. I kind of figure it out as a product of your environment, but what I'm learning is Filipinas, like I said, they're very, they ask a lot of questions, man. Filipinas are hella inquisitive. Sometimes I don't want to answer them shits. But you know what? If they ask, you got to answer. And I promise you this. You guys date women. Let me get back to that narrative that I told you before. You date women that are, or that do not know their own worth, okay? So if you're dating a woman that doesn't know their own worth, I'm not saying that she is more valuable than you. I'm not saying that she has the punan that is made of gold. I'm not saying anything like that. When I say that they don't know their own worth, all I am saying is this. A Filipina has not been in a situation or a relationship before wherein a foreigner is probably paying her the amount of attention that you are giving her. So, if that's the case, she's always going to ask questions. She's always going to wonder, why me, why me, why me? And you got to be able to explain, why you, why you, why you? But whenever they start to understand that you're likely going to choose them regardless, that's when the dynamic of the relationship shifts. When they start to understand that you're likely to choose Filipinas regardless, you might see a change of behavior. You might see a change in the way that they act, the mannerisms. And I'm thinking, just putting two and two together, if they start watching other Filipinas on YouTube that are participating or perpetuating this particular narrative, the feminism over the femininity and all of that stuff, I promise you this, you might see that change that you may not have hoped for or wished for. You want to keep your girl naive. That's what a lot of you want, but that's almost impossible or inevitable. My girlfriend, from the time that we started together, she's grown tenfold. She knows more about my culture than me. She's all over social media. I don't care. She got Facebook, she got Twitter, she got Instagram. She knows more about my shit. She tells me stuff about my own country that I don't know about. She's like, oh, did you hear about so-and-so and so-and-so? I'm like, no. But she knows, and I'm good with that, and I'm Gucci. You gotta understand that the inevitable is likely to happen, and because that is likely to happen, that's why a lot of guys like to keep their girls in the Philippines, to keep them out of the loop, to keep them out of what could potentially be a harmful narrative or something that could potentially be harmful to the relationship. And I'm here to tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, let me keep it 100%. You can only do that for so long, all right? You can only keep them naive for so long. Everybody wants to talk about molding and I need to mold her mindset and that shit. She gonna grow the way she gonna grow, man. Let's keep it 100. Your girlfriend is gonna grow, or your fiance, your lady is gonna grow the way she's going to grow. You can't keep her from the inevitable for long. I know a lot of you guys like to date the naive ones and keep them naive. I can't play that role with you, man. I can't play that role with you. But that's just the good doc's thoughts, man. This conversation could definitely go a little bit deeper, but I want you to know you got to be careful with what your lady chooses to watch on YouTube, because the questions will come, number one. And if you think that dating a naive Filipina and keeping her naive is the way it's going to be, I promise you this, it's going to hurt you in the long run, all right? You want your girl to grow. Trust me. Don't keep her naive forever, all right? The doc is out. Take care. God bless. Peace.